All right. Peace to the kings and queens. It's your brother Tim Gray with the Melanated Medicine Podcast. This is a health and wellness podcast made for the BIPOC community, from us, by us, and through us. And today's guest is my man, my mellow, Mr. Larry.
Tim, thanks for having me, brother.
No, I wanted to say it like that because you have one of the 1970s names. You know, your name is like a Cadillac, man. Mm-hmm. And Larry.
What's up, brother?
Hey, there you go.
Just like that. Give me some skin.
Give me some skin, champ. All right, so outside of the fact that Larry, we're going to get to his story, we're going to give you his why, but he probably has the most luxurious beard that you've ever seen of any guest that we have on here. And I just want to give you credit for however you've done that to maintain, and shout out to your wife for making sure that you're good. So, yeah, man, I just like to make sure, I think that black men need to make sure that we tell each other that we look good, man. All right, yeah, just a little applause for that. That's a little applause, all right. That's all right. So, Mr. L Boogie.
Yes.
Who are you and why are you? And I want you to make sure you turn that into what you're doing.
Yes, man.
Because that part is really,
Yeah, I love that question. Like, what are we? What am I doing here? Right? At first, I feel like I am a vessel to change lives. I'm here I'm the lighthouse. You know, you're lost on the sea. You get to see that lighthouse. That is Larry Hamilton's purpose. It could be fitness. It could be wellness. It could be uplifting. So that's my first beacon of who I am.
Yes, sir.
I do that primarily through wellness.
Okay.
Right now, I'm using a conduit called Animal Flow.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dive into that, because I can talk about that forever, I started my career, fitness and wellness, maybe 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Started in a gym called New York Sports Club in Chelsea, 16th and 8th.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to figure out how I met Tim. So
this is going to be a longer, harder conversation.
Yeah. So from there, I did every gym you can think about that's in New York City, did the hustle and bustle, and then I got really lucky enough to open up my own gym in 2013, 2012, called it LH Transformations. The beautiful part about this gym, it was where I'm from. I'm from the Bronx. I was born and raised in Corb City. Throw up your X's. Corb City, Parkchester.
Yep.
My gym was located in Throgs Neck, and we jammed out there for about 8 years.
Come on, let's give a man a round of applause for opening up a facility. You beat the 5-year. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you. You beat the 5-year part, because as business owners, we know the importance of that 5-year part. You say if you can make it to 5 years, you can do anything. So congratulations for making it to 8.
Thank you.
That's a lot of work, man. What was the why into why you wanted to open up a facility?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad to be on this show to talk about it. It was extremely unhealthy, my why in the beginning. I wanted to run a business and be that man, but that man didn't really have a meaning. I couldn't conceptualize what that was,
right.
But I remember coming home like, I got to run this business. I got to be a man. And I'll go to sleep for like 4 hours, and I'll get up at 4 a.m., run my business like a man. 6 years, I burned out.
Yeah.
I was a grumpy man.
Yeah.
We was very successful. We made great money in a studio that was maybe 600 square foot.
That's it?
We just made it a really cool place to come work out. We was very mom and pop, family oriented, and we specialize in small group training. So just imagine you got 4 people here jamming out, 4 people here jamming out, trainers got 4 people there, eyes there. So we just kind of made it affordable for group fitness or personal training. And that was our niche in the Bronx. We had partners with the restaurant Muscle Maker Grill.
Yeah.
And we had this beautiful relationship with Muscle Maker Grill. We had a beautiful relationship with the coffee shop next door. And it was just symbiotic. It was powerful.
I love it. But it's an important part that you also knew what wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, I think that particularly as business owners, we can get to that point about making sure that the lights is on, that the insurances are paid, staff is paid, and we'll be okay later if all of those things are done first. Right. And the fact that you said, you know, I'm a man, that perspective of the provision sometimes supersedes our self-worth because we can validate ourselves only through the provision.
Right.
And it's an important part of life for you to already know that that's not the only thing that you are. So kudos to you for having that awareness.
Right.
What changed in regards of having the facility to no longer having one?
It changed immensely. by diving deeper into a beautiful practice called animal flow. I traveled to, we call it mentorships, went to Costa Rica, and I noticed there was other gym
That's been a
owners.
popular place on this pod.
Costa Rica, you got to go.
It's a whole journey. Yeah.
Yeah, you go there. You're gonna see some turtles. You're gonna be like super immersed into their culture. My spirit animal is a sea turtle.
Okay.
And, you put your feet in that sand, right? And you feel the earth. You feel how you are magnetized to you want to live more. And segueing back to the mentorship, there were other gym owners there, and they were happy. And I was like, how are you this happy when you have to pay employees, you have to pay rent? And they said, yeah, you just do it, and you just got to live life. And I just didn't understand that. And they weren't people of color. I was just my own person there. So I met a lot of other gym owners, and they had a big relationship with themselves. They had a big relationship with personal development, not just reading books, but their spiritual side. Doesn't matter what they practice, but they had a big component to pouring into themselves mentally in the morning. Something I practice now. I meditate every morning for about 20 minutes, and it's been a game changer.
What do you feel like what is your form of meditation? Because I like to dive, not necessarily into this part of your story, but I just don't like a generalization of people with terms of healing without some context to it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because like I pray, right? So I'm praying at minimum 5 times a day, and that's what tethers me. Because without that, I can start thinking that I'm in control.
Absolutely.
You dig?
Yeah.
So to someone else, Tim looks like he's meditating. You know what I mean? Because we have this visual picture of what meditation looks like. You're sitting there cross-legged, Indian style, with your hands in this yoga position and going through mantras.
Right.
But that may not be yours. What is it? What is a meditation for you?
Great question. So in the beginning, I used a guided meditation. I used maybe the Chopra app or the Calm app. Now, after graduating from there, I learned how to maybe focus on one thought. And I realized through meditation, sometimes you can't just get one thought, you get many of your thoughts. And I learned how to play with those thoughts and understanding that thoughts aren't supposed to go away. So through that, I'm able to, let's call it, repress my New York City Bronx side. New York City has a time to want to push buttons.
Yes.
And I'm able to now be at peace. And I said, wow, this is a beautiful feeling. And I went back to my gym. We expanded it from 600 square footage to an outdoor space that's 1,000 square footage. We actually expanded it in a beautiful way after the pandemic. And I did it in the wrong way. I kind of built this beautiful outdoor space, and we got some fines. Let's call one of the neighbors didn't enjoy person of my complexion expanding his business. And he was an architect, so he knew about building codes. We got hit with about $50,000 worth of fines. So I'm coming back from Costa Rica going, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I want to travel or pour into a virtual business. And that's what I did. I closed down, sold my portion of the business, and traveled a lot within the last 3 years. Yeah. And kind of, I guess, found myself again, or learned that being the man is actually just being you and being really comfortable with who you are and where you're at in the world.
We're going to give that round of applause right there. So this is going to be, as you can see, it's going to be a gym-laden type of pod today. That part of that discovery, though, is such a... It's kind of like, because, we have, as you can tell, we have a live studio audience, so people so it's normal. Yeah. It's such an important part for our conversations as men, because a lot of our value is based upon our production. And as a term that I learned, men need something to feel good about, and that feeling good has to be something in producing something. It gives you a sense of value. Yes. Right? And but I don't want us to be inundated with the perception that what you produce has to be a monetary thing. Right. And
I was.
But most of us are in that place, particularly being, and I don't just say, but being Black American men, we don't really get an accolade a lot about just being present. Because there's a significant difference when our present is not there. it feels worse to me just hearing that, because I'm looking through it through the gaze of our young men, thinking that the only thing that they need to do is have money.
Right.
And if you don't have a sense of who you are, your money's irrelevant. Like, it really is. It's not even a thought. It's not theoretical. Because you and I have been in health and fitness for a period of time, so we've come across a lot of people who have had money. And I'm talking about clients.
Right.
And they're always looking to buy your time to give them perspective.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. That's something I'm like, if you have all of this but don't have perspective, it can prove that it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a form of trade.
Right.
You're just good at trading something.
Right.
You're not good at living. So after you got to that part, and we're not going to let the animal flow part be small, because I worked at Equinox. I want to say Equinox. A friend of mine is Australian, so says it like that.
Right.
So I worked at Equinox when Animal Flow came to Equinox, when they were trying to produce it as a new class. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And I had the biggest hate on Animal Flow. And I'm going to say why, because it's important to give context. The reason why I did not like it, because I saw all of these movement patterns that looked exactly like capoeira. So my natural defense mechanism of protecting culture came into play when I saw this brother who was not of the descendants, they was not of the diaspora, teaching this type of thing. And the commercial, mind you, it's not the persons who created it their fault. It was the vision that the people who were trying to sell it gave me, which helped form this opinion. So I want to make that clear for context. They had a video of Mike running through the jungle. Jumping over things with these cat-like abilities and all these different types of things. And the only thing that I saw was appropriation.
Yep.
And it pissed me off to high heaven. Tim, do you want to come and take this class? Because you're one of the more agile. I don't want to do nothing. That has nothing to do with the spa. I don't care.
I'm not into that.
Not at all.
It's not my guy.
And then I came across the guy himself. And Mike was cooler than the other side of the pillow. And I was like, oh, you're not a thief. This is what I'm thinking. I was like, oh, you're not a thief. So you really are inclusive. And that's when I learned how many people of the BIPOC community that he was almost championing to be the leaders in that field. And now, fast forward to you being in Animal Flow, because some people do Animal Flow. I want you to say what your position is in Mike Fitch's company in regards of Animal Flow itself.
Absolutely.
This is a very important thing to say.
I've been a part of Animal Flow for the last 8 to 9 years. I want to say recently I became the regional leader for Animal Flow. That just means I help you get ready to test out for your Animal Flow. I host master classes, and I really love this system.
All right, real quick. Can you tell me how many other people have that position in the world?
We currently there's regional leaders all over the world. Give you bigger perspectives. There's about 27,000 coaches. Within the coaches, there's about 150 regional leaders. Within New York City, there are 3 regional leaders. And there are 3 levels to Animal Flow. I am right now the only Animal Flow coach that has achieved level 3 in New York City and possibly on the East Coast. So yeah, I love the system.
Okay, is it okay if I give him a round of applause? So the reason why I brought that up is because I wanted people to realize that we're not just bringing you guests who are just in something. They are the leaders in that area that they're doing. So they're speaking from a place of understanding and position.
Right.
So it's not just so happens that he is a man of color doing these things. You are the only one that I've ever met at that particular level. And I've known people for doing this for years, and to the fact that he and I have many friends in common that we did not know that we had in common, to the fact that the day before yesterday, I got a text message from my little brother Jordan asking about, what are you doing with Larry? And I was like, what? Because I had no idea that he knew you. Yeah. And he says, I get a text message showing that you guys are going to do a Melanated Medicine, the movement at the studio with Animal Flow, and I'm not involved. And I was like, wait, how do you know Larry? He goes, yo, that's the guy. I was like, this is such a beautiful thing, because for context purposes, Jordan is in Montenegro. He's not in the United States at all. Mm-hmm. He's literally 6 hours ahead on the European side of the world. So that's how influential the work that you have done and what you represent, because he called me in the middle of the night.
Yes, he did.
To say that.
Yeah.
I was like, if it's midnight here, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. He goes, yeah, I'm just doing this before my kids wake up.
Yeah.
So that is not a small thing that you have done. How do you see that Animal Flow has had an influence on the fitness industry?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about myself first and the industry.
Please, by all means.
How I see it. So Animal Flow has changed my life immensely. From how I see people from other cultures to being able to pick the people I want in my life. If I don't know you, I can get a barometer of who you are or what I like about you immediately. I joke around about this. You ever meet someone that's older and they get in a relationship, they get married like in 2 days?
Yeah.
Why are you getting married so quickly? They know what they want.
Yep.
I know what I want from a friend. I know what I want from a business partner. All from meeting people in the Animal Flow community.
Okay.
Now, as far as the fitness community and what's happening in this cool conglomerate of movement is we are inviting more people to touch the floor. We're inviting more people to have that conversation about their hands and feet and toes, and it's not one of those taboo things. People are now understanding, like, wow, this is super important. I was a part of an interesting study about 2 years ago. We went to Grove City, Pennsylvania. We put on some really cool suits. We look like Marvel characters. Okay. And we found out what muscles are activating during Animal Flow. So now I'm about to be presenting this in July at the Idea Fitness Conference.
Okay.
On how can you use these tools for maybe an FMS, a functional movement screen, to help people with posture.
Sorry, I said too quickly. FMS means a functional movement screen.
Yeah.
So usually if you're at a bigger gym, half the time they have this board on the floor and it has these initials on it, and people don't know what that usually means. So I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure we educate the consumer.
Yeah. And so it's transforming right before my eyes, and it's really cool to be in this situation because I think about yoga. Anyone that's doing yoga right now has not met the inventor of yoga. Like no one knows who, like they say they do.
No, they do not.
But now we're literally at the forefront of Animal Flow, where you've met Mike Fitch.
Yes.
Now we're literally in this cool situation where we get to meet the creator of this beautiful movement system. That looks like capoeira. That looks like ballet. That looks like Tai Chi. And I think that's what the fitness industry is doing right now. We're taking many elements, putting it together, and Animal Flow's always been that system.
It's interesting that I would say that it's probably at its greatest height now because you started seeing people with the beauty of the flow, right? Like I watched a team of people from I think they were in either Philippines or Thailand, and they were just moving together. And I was like, oh, this is just gorgeous. It just looked absolutely gorgeous until you realize how hard it is to be able to control yourself with pace, breath. Right. The control part that it takes, it's not an easy fix at all. And I compare this growth to as soon as some more ambassadors who are a little bit more social media savvy get into it, because I think it can have the same impact that kettlebells did.
That's what I want.
Because I really do think that people are becoming more self-aware of understanding that they don't actually feel their body. How do I mean? I get more people coming to get massages with the perception I need to feel better, that they think that they're doing the work because I do yoga.
Right.
And I usually ask the question. I said, if you're doing yoga, did you change anybody or anything in the community that you live in? She goes, what? I said, that's the practice of yoga. When you're on the mat, you're working through your problems. You're figuring out who and what you are, what the blockages are, so that way you can get out, take that good feeling, go into the community of what you live, and then practice yoga by creating harmony.
Right.
They don't do that part. We get so I'm carrying my mat. I have my Aloe or my Lululemon outfit on. So there's just a
iced coffee.
Oh, the iced coffee is necessary in a Stanley cup. Or I'm super yogi, so that means I have to be vegan. Right. So we're taking elements of people's lives and making it the fixture of what it is. Right. And the reason why I say that, because I actually tell people most of you are only moving in a frontal plane. Right. And it was like, what? I said, there are other planes of motions that you're not moving in. And that's the reason why your shoulders are messed up, because you're constantly in a forward fold. You're constantly holding, I'm going to chaturanga, I'm doing upward dog. You're doing these movements, but you don't move in a transverse plane.
Right.
You don't move in a sagittal plane.
Right.
So that means your body is restricted because it's only getting good at doing one form of movement. That's like, or if anybody who's bodybuilding or working out, if you're only using standardized weights and don't use free weights, you're going to be limited in your mobility and the growth aspect of how your muscle can grow because you're only using one thing.
Right.
And in Animal Flow, what I found, I was like, this is like, I cursed at him earlier and I meant it. I totally meant it. I
love you.
Because I love you completely because I tried, keyword, I did attempt to do one of the, what was the float through?
You did you did the float to side kick through.
Don't do that. There was a moment of self-discovery where the ground got close to my face faster than I wanted it to. We're just going to leave that there. Okay? But it made me have a newfound respect. Like we have other guests on who like Ja Washington, he was on, and watching him flip a kettlebell sometime, I'm just like, it's a different strength.
Yeah.
You know, or our other guests that we had on, Hurricane GH, watching him get bigger from bodybuilding, completely different type of strength. But Lord knows, if you can't move your body from standing to the floor to back up, I do not care who you are not strong. So control is such a beautiful thing to see. And I think it's even more necessary for Animal Flow and things like that because the quickest thing that you lose when you get older is your mobility.
Yeah.
And as a sports reference, your best ability is your availability.
That's it.
And not having the availability to your whole body is so whack.
Yeah.
It's not fun to not feel good. You know what I mean? What is something that outside of what you're doing with that company that you're orchestrating and looking forward to besides that conference that you have coming up?
Man, we got something coming up. I'm really pumped for.
I mean,
man.
You could talk about it if you
I
felt
mean,
like
we
it.
got something really.
I'm not
powerful.
one to judge. You could talk about it if you felt like it, though.
So this is a powerful connection for myself because in my career, I haven't gotten a chance to share this stage only with men of color. Men of color. I've gotten to share the stage with women many times. It's just I emote differently. I was raised by my mom. I have a sister, so that it just comes natural for me, and I feel like I'm an empath. But this Sunday, the 16th, we're taking the podcast name.
Yep.
We're adding movement to it.
Yep.
And we have three amazing people I get to just share the space with. We got you, Tim, Carlos, Josh, myself, and the conversation that will come from the movement, from all the experience, all these experts. I didn't do the years of experience. I'm going to guesstimate we have about 80 years of experience coming
fair.
to share our passion to it's not just movement, but the mindset around tapping in, like I like to say, tapping into your body. I call it dynamic meditation. I got that phrase from a race car driver. When they're speeding and they're laser focused, the only thing they can think about is do not crash. So when you're performing Animal Flow, the only thing you can think about is, I don't want my face to hit this floor.
Yeah.
So you're literally in this state of focus. Maybe your wrist may hurt. Maybe you're burning because you are exercising. But there is a state of dynamic focus or dynamic meditation that you probably never get to do, especially you don't have a meditation practice. So we're going to get some of that on Sunday. We're going to have a really awesome conversation around culture, race, and then what Carlos has to share is just really interesting because I've never got a chance to sit down and talk with a college professor like that.
It's still weird that these are our friends.
Yeah.
So, as my friend Cameron likes to say, my friends are fresh. It's just a really good conversation. I like and appreciate that you can open up the opportunity for people to learn a new thing, specifically at the heightened part of the year. You know what I mean? Because everybody's still in their new year, new me thing and getting prepared for everything else. Or my friends who are Caribbean always are telling people to get ready for their carnival bodies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. One thing I want to share is something that you shared with me earlier today, and if it's okay for me to mention, that you are married.
Yes.
Yes.
I am married.
But the reason why I say it like that is because it was in the light in his eye of when he said it. That I always say to my friends, the most important decision a man will ever make is a woman he decides to marry. Because that is the mindset that will raise your children. That is the energy and the mindset that will govern your home. And inshallah, God so will, that also is the place that you find peace in.
Absolutely.
And for us, as very forward-going men of color, that piece beats everything.
Absolutely. 100%.
Except for your connection with your creator.
Right.
You dig? So tell us something of why was that your choice? Why was she your choice? I just feel like that's an important part of this podcast.
I talk about. I just bring my wife up in conversation just because.
That's dope that you want to. Come on now. Yeah, I mean, it's okay for you to say something in the background. It's all right. Hold on, let's give a round of applause for his wife. Yeah.
Love to. We're coming up on 7 years married.
Oh, come on.
And we met through fitness. We met at my gym.
Fraternizing on the job. I'm joking.
Looking at my wife, Dr. Sherry Greenwood Hamilton.
Come on, say it now.
Yes.
Oh, let's give her an air horn.
She's going to be so embarrassed. So, looking at her, super humble, understands the doctorates, but doesn't come off as your pretentious doctorates.
Sure.
She holds a doctorate in neuroscience. She'll be better at explaining all this stuff.
So you're going to say that you're going to help me get your wife on the pod? Okay.
I'm booking her already.
All right, come on.
It's that kind of relationship. She doesn't even know. She's booked. She'll be here soon. Mm-hmm. She's my wife because she's the human she saw. And I say that first, not the skin, not the like. She understands the person that's in front of her. And that. I felt that immediately. So the way it worked, she came to my gym. She wanted a free personal training session with the owner. That's kind of what we did. And I'm training this lady. I'm going, this is not going to work out. This is not going to be a good client. And she's like, this has been a great session. How much is it? And I looked at her and said, I don't train people, I date. And she laughed.
Come on, Slick. See, that's that lie right there. That's what I told you his name was Larry.
I just knew it. And, we went out that same day.
Oh, wait. This was immediate.
This was immediate. And
bro,
she'll tell the story different. You have her on the podcast. So
yeah.
I was going to check out the UFC fight. And I said, this is not my typical date, but if you want to continue hanging out with me, here are my plans. And she was so cool just to join me in what I wanted to do. And then a couple weeks later, we had an official date, and it just was like I just knew what I wanted. My mom helped me figure that out. Just kind of, she said, I'm going to say it wrong. She said, choose your wife like a naked man climbing a barbed wire fence.
Oh!
Yeah, there you go. Choose your wife like a naked man climbing a barbed wire fence. And that's stuck with me. I was a teenager. I'm like, why are you telling me this? I'm a teenager.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Hold on. We're going overtime on this one.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. We're. I did not have air horn. Choose your wife like a naked man climbing a barbed wire fence.
How careful you got to be.
I will never forget that. Yo. I'm sorry. The silence was just because I was still just letting that just marinate in my head for a second. And kudos to you for listening.
That's it.
Kudos to you for like we had Scott Bernhardt on here, and he was talking about how the importance of his mom, and I always refer to my queen, as my sister-in-law reminded me how queen is not a good thing. My empress, and because I have a shirt that says I take care of black women.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I wear that, and I like pissing people off when I wear it.
Yes.
Because those are the sisters are always the ones who take care of me. So I just feel so much responsibility when I'm around that they feel nothing.
Right.
And that does not mean an overexertion of machismo. That doesn't mean that I need to act any more than I am. But it's a certain type of sedentary lifestyle perspective that our men have had that don't make them feel secure.
Right.
So when they come around, I want them to feel like they're brothers in the room.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy that you listened to your mom, and here we are 7 years later, and yet your wife was just like, let's just roll.
Yeah.
That's some dope stuff there, man. Congratulations on life.
Thank you.
You're winning.
Life is life in these days, man. It's good.
All right. Well, listen, it's different when a black man smiles. And you're talking about your partner with a smile. And I appreciate that. I don't like the term, I love that for you. I love that for us. Because that becomes something else that other versions of us want to go grab, want to go get, want to be a part of. Understand the success is there. It's not a possible figment of an imagination. Man, come on. My man.
Yeah.
Give me some Slim, Jack.
Let's go, baby.
Give me some skin. So, okay. So all of those beautiful things that you've shared, thank you very much for opening up that aspect of your life, because you did not have to do that. So,
Of course.
Before we get out of here, talk to young Larry. Give him a map to get to where you are now. What's something that you would share with your younger self?
Yes. Young Larry, you are not monolith. So whatever you see out there in Carp City, in Parkchester, good. Don't do the gang stuff. Great. Continue riding that skateboard, because people of our skin color like rock music.
Yep.
We like different things. And it's okay that you don't. And it's okay that you may not have friends right now that enjoy the things you do, but you know that you will get those friends, you will get those opportunities, you will connect with beautiful people. So continue being you, and enjoy that black skin, brother, because things are coming, man.
You know what? I don't even want to give you an air horn for that. We're just going to let the studio audience get that love. And lastly, but as I land this plane, Larry, I'm going to look directly into this camera and I'm going to ask you a question without looking at you. Can you please start teaching animal flow here?
Say no more. Say less.
You heard it. And because it's on public record, this is now a contract. So thank you very much. So write it on paper. Thank you very much. Once again, my brother, thank you for you. I look forward to flowing with you. I look forward to learning new aspects of myself while learning with the things that you've mastered. So I want to say peace to the kings and queens. Thank you for coming to another episode of the Melanated Medicine Podcast. I'll see you on the next round. Peace out.
Peace.